Hey everyone, it is the Angry Honey Badger here, and it's time for us to take a look at a support build for Leona. She is a really fun champion to play. If you don't know anything about her, she offers a crazy amount of crowd control for a support champion. And here we're going to actually just destroy this Mordekaiser. We are invading, and we're all going to pick up an assist on that. And Rengar will pick up the first blood, so a little bit of extra gold to us and a little bit of experience. Early this game, I decided to take her E ability first, but you would usually probably put a point to your Q ability at level 1. Just kind of depends on what your team is going to do. So, but that was what we did, and that's what allowed us to help pick up that first blood kill. So we'll talk about her items this build, and we're going to go ahead and talk about her abilities and everything you need to know, and some of the benefits to playing as Leona. Now, early down here in bottom lane, Nami is here alone. So we're going to try to take advantage of this because apparently Vayne is running to lane right now. But we're going to go ahead and grab her again, and we're going to be able to pick up a quick kill, but I'm going to get stuck in turret range and take a couple of those. Vayne will pick up a kill on me, and then somehow the minions got totally in the way of MF, and she will also die to Vayne. So Vayne's going to pick up a pretty lucky double kill, and we're going to have a tiny bit of a rough start at the beginning of this game, but we will turn all this around as the game goes on with our crowd control, and just with some good teamwork as well this game. But we're going to see what most of a Leona build looks like. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pick up my Philosopher's Stone because I'm like about 10 gold short of getting it. So I'm just going to pick that up right now. And we're going to go ahead and start making gold back already. And that'll definitely help us when purchasing wards. We also started just with some other items early on. Nothing too crazy weird for supports. I like to pick up plenty of wards. And make sure you have some vision wards and, you know, some sight wards as well, so both, and you can use those for your benefit. But nonetheless, we're going to just go ahead and farm up in this lane, and we'll talk about our abilities now. So first, like I said, normally you probably would put a point into your Q ability, which is your, well actually we're skipping things. Let's go to her passive first, which is called Sunlight. Basically, any of your damaging spells affect the target with sunlight for 3.5 seconds. Basically, when allied champions then hit anyone affected by sunlight, they're going to deal bonus magic damage on those enemy champions. So basically, whenever you're hitting someone with those spells, your teammates are allowed to deal bonus damage to them, which is one way that she becomes very strong in lane early on in the game, because when you're hitting people and you're stunning them and you're using all of this to hit them with these abilities, not only are you fairly tanky and you can keep engaging on them, but then your AD carry is able to deal even more damage against them. So very good passive, and it works really well with her kit. So then first there's her Q ability, which like I said, you usually put a point in at level 1. You can max this out either second or third, not first though. We're going to max something else out completely first. But this is on your next basic attack, you are going to stun the target for 1.25 seconds. And this is also going to deal some magic damage. So that is what that is. And then at level 2, put a point to your Zenith Blade, which is what dashes over to the enemy champion whenever you hit them with it. It's going to immobilize them for 0.5 seconds. And it's also going to deal some magic damage. That's something you're going to max out usually second. And then what you're going to max out completely first, you'll put a point in this at level 2 or 3, just depends on when you want to put a point to it, is your Eclipse. And whenever you turn on your Eclipse, you're going to gain a bonus armor and magic resist. It's going to start at 30 and it's going to scale all the way up to 70 as you max it out. It's going to give you this bonus armor and magic resist for 3 seconds. When the effect ends, it's going to deal some damage, and it's going to slow the enemies around you for a short duration if they're next to you. So everything you do so far does something to either immobilize, slow, or stun someone. And then there is her ultimate, which is her solar flare, and whenever you do this, basically you're going to call it the solar beam. It's going to come down. Anybody it hits, it's going to slow them by 80% for 1.5 seconds, but enemies that are stuck closer to the center of it are actually going to be stunned for that duration. So everything you do is slowing, stunning, immobilizing, and it makes her a very good support for helping catch enemies, for helping just keep whole teams from really moving in and engaging, or if you just want to go in and engage very hard, you're just going to stop everyone right where they are. So she's very strong if you can land all those on the correct targets that you're really needing to focus. So we're going to see some of that happening this game, and we'll see some more correct focus. We did die again in a really weird initiation that we should not have gotten in, but we're going to go ahead and pink this dragon and see there are no wards around, so we are going to go ahead and pick this up real quick, and that'll definitely help us out as a team right now. But back at base, we decided to go with that first part of the Ruby Sightstone, which is just the Sightstone part of it. So we got some refreshing wards that we can now place. It's a good thing to start off with. We're going to go ahead and move in here. I'm going to use my ultimate, hit both of them real quick, which will stop them in the Misfortune ult. And I mean, the ult's going to knock us back a little bit. I'll have to get out of turret range so I don't die. But MF is going to pick up a quick kill, and Shen's going to ult in just to make sure that MF stays safe at this point. And we'll push a little bit here. So luckily we were able to pick up an assist there and help our Misfortune get a little bit more farm, or, you know, kill. And that will help her out there. Now, one of the things I will say you typically want to do with Leona when you are playing her, besides doing your normal supporty things and picking up support items, you also want to pick up some tankier items. They will definitely help you out in the long run, because she really needs to become more tanky to then use more of her crowd control successfully, because you're going to be jumping into the middle of battle. A lot of your abilities take you to the point where you're up in their face. Luckily, your ultimate you can cast from outside of being in the middle of a fight, but everything else you use will have a better effect when you're on top of them. Plus, your E ability is going to take you to being on top of them. So you need a little bit more survivability when you are playing as Leona in the long run. So we're going to go ahead and address that by picking up some support items still that are kind of supporty and do help the whole team, but then also help you out as a tank, which in the long run will just help everybody out. So we do have our Ruby Sightstone now in the game, and we still have that Philosopher's Stone, so making a little bit of gold off of that, and we get our mana regeneration and health regen from that right now. We have the first part of our boots, and we're still going to pick up pink wards, those vision wards, so we can, you know, check out Dragon or get rid of other wards on the map that are maybe just probably going to be a little bit of a pain for us. So that is what we're going to concentrate on doing right now. Now, when it comes down to her runes, there's a few different things you can do for your quintessences, but for everything else, it's pretty standard. We're going to go with magic penetration marks, armor seals, magic resist per level glyphs, and then either gold quintessences or movement speed. Now here, Shen's going to go ahead and taunt this Mordekaiser. We're going to ult him. We're going to get rid of Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser does deal a lot of damage, but the one thing that stops Mordekaiser in his tracks is crowd control, because he's not able to keep his shield up, and if he can't do that, he's going to die really quickly. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of him. We're going to head down towards this dragon in just a second, and we're going to make a play for Dragon because we know it needs to respawn. Mordekaiser will be up in a second, but Vayne's on the side now too. So we're going to try to pick this up real quick. Unfortunately, we will get caught out while we're doing this a little bit, and Misfortune and I will be getting killed. And they're going to be able to push on us, but luckily we did at least get that Dragon, so that will help us out. And we will hopefully not lose too much, but we're actually going to lose a couple towers because they're going to group fairly quick, and with an MF pet, that's going to help them kill a few more towers fairly quick. So we are now going to head back to the fight, this time back at base since we were not alive. We picked up a Giant's Belt, which will be helping us, you know, with a little bit more survivability in these team fights. Going to go ahead and keep the map warded. Going to put one up by Baron, since that is something people will probably start looking into doing after aces now, or even just keeping or getting a couple people killed. So I need to keep an eye on that and other strategic locations in the jungle. So that is what we're working on. Now, when it comes down to Leona's Masteries, there's a few different things you can do. And this is really a personal preference. You can go with like a full support tree where you get a lot in the support tree, so you pick up that extra ward and the biscuit. Or you can go with a tankier setup and just make sure you're really tanky, because in the long run, as the game continues, you want to get your Leona quite tanky. So I'm not going to actually recommend a specific page. I'll put some choices in the description on what you want to do, but there's literally a couple different ones that I would recommend. Now, here their team's going to come in for an engagement because we're a little spread out, and they can see that on the map. I'm going to keep this Ori safe. We're going to keep putting little stuns on this Renekton, try to keep him off of her. Now Shen's going to taunt almost all of them, I think, and MF's going to ult in, and I'll grab a few and stun them as well. So we're going to luckily clean them up quick, and we're only going to lose Shen there. So good exchange for us, the 4-for-1. Renekton's going to be able, not Renekton, sorry, Rengar is going to be able to push top, get a couple turrets there, and we're going to get a couple turrets in mid. So 4 tower change after that fight. So luckily that will help us out greatly in the upcoming fight. So that is just what is happening currently, and we're going to go ahead and keep putting our wards down to see where they might be coming or where they are going. And we're going to head back to base now, and we're going to help ourselves by getting even more tankier. We're going to go ahead and pick up our Merchants for our boots, which will help us with tenacity and some magic resist. And then we're going to also pick up some armor. Now this armor that we are picking up is going to go towards the Randuin's Omen. That Warden's Mail is what those two will go towards. If you wanted to get this more so in lane fairly early in the game, you could do that. And that would definitely work out, because that will help you down there resisting their AD carry. So just in the future, if you're in a longer lane where laning phase is a bit longer, go ahead and pick that up earlier if you need some more armor. It will definitely help you out. Now here they're going to move in, and we're going to go ahead. Once they group all up, I'm going to try to use my ultimate to hit all of them, which will get them stuck in all of those ults. I'm actually going to pick up a kill on Vayne, and I'm going to chase after their Nami really quick. Going to exhaust her, and I'm actually going to pick up the kill on her just because apparently I picked up 2 kills without trying. So, we're going to be able to push now. That was a really good ace. We lost nobody on our side. Lots of crowd control there. When you're able to hit them with your ult and stun all of them while they're getting stuck in other people's ultimates with all of that AoE, they are all just going to explode. So pairing up your ultimate to work really well in the middle of a fight works. And another thing you can do with your ultimate is just use it before even a fight really starts. You can initiate it kind of out of nowhere. And just use your ult just to start fights. So if you see the high priority target and they're just a little bit away from their team, just not really overextended, but if they're just to the side and you can easily hit them, go ahead and use it on them and take care of that champion quickly. It'll definitely be worth it. And luckily, Leona's very good ult is not on a super long cooldown, so I think it's on like a 60-second or 70-second cooldown, so it's up quite often. You're able to use it all the time. So that is just something to remember. Don't be afraid to use her ultimate. So that's what we're working with. Now, this last time back at base, we did pick up a Randuin's Omen, which will definitely help us out. And then I also decided to pick up an Oracle's to start de-warding, and that'll definitely help us out. Now, at this point in the game, we can start to look at some of our other items that we would hopefully try to get to as the game goes on, but I don't think I'll get to too many this game. Everything is in the description as it normally is, but we'll go ahead and talk about what we would be building next. At this point in the game, now since we have our armor and some okay magic resist, we could take our Philosopher's Stone and build that towards, well, there's another fun ultimate and some stuns and tanking towers because ain't care. But we're going to go ahead and get out of the tower range so we don't die to that. But for that Philosopher's Stone, we're going to actually team that up, pick up a Kindle Gem, and build a Shrilia's Reverie. And that will be great for helping your team initiate, because you can speed them all up with that if they're around, and then you can all get into the fight a lot quicker that way. But we're going to be closing out this game. There's other items, once again, that I will put down in the description for your typical Leona builds, but this is how I like to start mine out. You just got to use her crowd control effectively, and it will help you out quite drastically in picking up tons of kills and locking opponents down, such like that. So that is going to be a build for Leona. If you have any questions, you can put those down in the comments below. But other than that, I'll just see all of you in the next build video. Now here, they're going to kind of get a little separated, so I'm going to work on Thresh real quick before anybody gets over here. And I'm going to go ahead and take him out real quick, then work on Nidalee. Keep the Alpha Strikes coming because of the refresh, and it's going to refresh again, and I'll use it on the Ezreal and kill him for the triple kill.